Chapter 7. His denial carried a reason that might inset the ray of vision. He had to see the man he knew would say something before adieu. A man was also a victim of the war. Everything was out of par. I was later led to the camp to register my name as a refugee. I was aboard the bus. I looked back, popping my head out for the half-fixed window pane, and waved my hands, perhaps for one last time. And I said, "Goodbye, my mother." I, with heavenly heart, left hand, carried futilely out. I had nothing left in my hand. My existence was all black out. The destinies were memories, flourished well and flooded. Forever my joy was buried. Zelt could be loaded. We got on the bus at midnight, wished we would be safe. No place left of our heads to hide. We have had to be a waif, like not even to be appreciated. The event equaled to hell, lost the ecstasy we had. With wet eyes and heavy heart else, in confinement we were kept. The bus splitting the darkness, plying through the strange places, our way was full of strikeness. We wished we would have been blessed. We had admitted our stance before the situation. We had nothing to expense. Oh, what a condition. We went accepting journey of despair and panic, spending life without truancy, going ahead despite being sick. We asked the way that could lead us anywhere, anyway. Anywhere as a way was lost. No life on our pathway. Away from our own relatives, away from our own land, heading towards the source of griefs, the future was being planned. Finally, we reached there in a few days. The practice new life, as if I was born to live hard. On this land we came, our own souls laughed at us. We registered our name, all things were lost. How difficult it was then, imperceptual sorrow. We got nothing what we aimed, nothing we could borrow. There was no land equal to our feet, seemed sickened in deep mere, being every day a deeper pit, born as a barrier. I was left with nothing. There were so many ingenuous people like me living hard. I thank my parents and God who sent some people here so they could assure our hunger. We were helped by different agencies. I believe they were God in the form of human beings. I see the God in them. Only air and water were their options to run our life. And here at an establishment, along the graves, the hard days began. Daily life, suffering and starvation became melancholy on our part some. Just few trees were against the sun and the rain, away from life and towards the strain. We struggle every single day. Otter's tears made no room for pity, even in the delicate inhabitants. With the death chose us, the children of God saw our pain from behind despair. In this way, we had a new set of circumstances. Most pinching of it was a refugee life. Huffing and puffing, there it was, in the dilapidated demi-soldat. They were made up with straw and fuzz. Half cold and half was very high. Panic on situation was never. Off on our day-to-day life. No food was left whatsoever. Hunger, triism, was rife. The sorrow elevated us. Far down on earth and hell, day or night, we were lost. Wished we heard the death bell. We had a dream to catch the lark. It was flew far away. No hope could emit the spark. Everywhere ruled pain of ray. We sat down and began to cry. Tears disappeared not from rain. Looked deep and found the hearts dry at our problem all framed. We had punished our own heart. We ate nothing we liked. As our joy was torn apart, for which sides we hiked. Light never shone on our rear. As shadows our friends were, all the spirits were away, nothing could be our dear. A new set of circumstances, with worried tomorrow, lived always within the fences with the heart of sorrow. Far away in the eastern land, there were 7 camps, everywhere equaled helping hand, in the darkness and lamps. We had to retrieve the ration, and every 15 day, clothes given to us to put on, to make us look like men. In our pain come some rays of sun, but made no warm in our den. Unlike other days, festivals were of little account. We smiled a little in the hells, though the fortune was down. We were secondary. Primary was our land. It was better than fairy. Our soul in raised our hand. We lived just in the stretched heart. Filled in the sorrow, we lived the young life being apart in some compounded borrow. We felt every new sunrise would make our dreams sunny. We were fed with the same rice, lived being weak and bony. Our life was going ahead, but we were as we were. Life always remained in the bamboo bed. What a burden the cage dares. We had been documenting our lives growing in camps, acting we were living like beings, in many huts and erect within the camps. Our home we cherished, to behold, in our dream every day, it muttered not, hot or so cold, woke with the kiss of ray. Once I was a part of the Refugee Day program. People had to express their views. There were UN representatives to observe the performance. The program venue was a GVA school. I was back at the camp after my master's degree in English literature. I had been always grateful to all the agencies without which my education wouldn't have been possible. I had already made up my mind to react a poem from my own book, The Forgotten People. As I was called upon the stage, I heard a huge round of applause. I went into it and recited the poem entitled, Thank You. Thank God your children you sent. You cried along with us, even touched us for help in den. For them our life was most. We remain grateful to them until we die. Hundred thousands of thanks from deep inside. Lost in darkness, they showed us the light. They showed their mercy. O Lord, grant them your pure salvation. They rescued us when we were hurt. Please them, O God, with sensation. Splitting to retrieve the crowd in their strange look, I went back home in my thatched hut to do basic household activities filled with acrimony, as there was nobody with me. Though I had my degree, I was jobless in the camp. My qualification was not commensurate to my job. I was not supposed to go out and work. Some went against it, all but otherwise. I was ceded to literate preneurs. A burning candle at the bedside, a tank of oil, despite having a fruitful seed. I have no soil. Humanity life I have, but can't exit so. Even for hand to mouth, tired to my limbs, the skin and plants of animals, I am though. The opportunity made me qualify low, much dependable the oath upon the sun. Why does wisdom I have need a horn? I had a spirit to teach the sky, wished to see thousands of hands saying to me hi. The fate had given me no wings. The time has turned me into dead being. I opened the door, went inside with the might, started cooking as I received appetite. My hut G1, hut number 14, some time ago I was given. At first, when I came here, I was left with no land to smell, no water to sip, no food to arrange my starvation. Even who lived nearby couldn't see me, but seen by those who lived many horizons beyond, among thousands of such huts. Mine was in the middle of the woods. One had zoomed from their hearts, that perceived my state visibility. Only the eyes in their hearts could see Many had the same story. For me, it was enough to keep my identity up. Else, how could I be there for long, away from my mother's lap, to such a long time? My life from darkness to darkness, to travel to nowhere, a fruitless journey. Didn't know where I would be the next day, like a blind leading the blind, destiny always behind. To give up life I longed to. I saw no hope ahead. Even after waiting hard for years, comfort always one step away. I died or lived, who cared? I urged the waves to take me deep, too deep that I could never come up. Let the shadows of ship not reach me to love. Tired of people and their deeds, even the plants seemed sad. Wanted to enjoy the ocean kids. Sometimes I was glad with such feelings, but the base was always there. That's life being without nation, without identity. For over 2 decades we live in the camp waiting for one day. That's the day in our land. It was since our arrival we kept trying to get back. From in we never had a call. None saw what we lacked. Wet our eyes were, everywhere pain. With burning heart inside, we wanted to live like a man, being on the lap inside. Our dream to get to our motherland was napped in the bud. Nothing was left in our hand as our dream was cut. It seemed a mutant speaking, no one tried to learn us. Out of us many liked to sing. To console us only a few came. Only lip service was given. Our cries went in despair. We missed our life in the heaven. We had lived being near and dear. To fly we were given feathers within the same cage. We had contained all the weathers, regardless of any age. Bushes grew tall under our feet, as it was then the dusk. We were always told just to sit and put trying our luck. Once and for all, we marched towards the little strength. Human activities followed, but not up to our pain. Many people had gone out of our breath. Hope was not given up. The death filled us with no more dread beyond death. We saw her loved. We cried and cried, but for the moon and our days could be made. We moved up and down for the boon, but kept silent the fate. We keep the value of our land when it had gone farther. The well counted when it sank. We were left to bother. No one tried to bind our wounds, and truly no one healed the broken heart. As we were crying on other ground, our heart souls were apart. Some died with the heart in the land, lived young for forever. They kept going despite being tamed, never had their legs sharpened. They were killed while trying to get back. Might they rest in peace. Patriotic death they had. May they remain in everybody's list. We had wished their remains be thrown in the soil of the land. Their body was not seen by the crown. Instead, all the ways were banned. Their glory might dwell in the land. Their grandson might miss them. What they had dared to do with their hands bear the struggle till their breath was dim. We could go out of the camp only with prior permission from the camp's authority for the limited time only. I saw many things in the shops. Many beautiful clothes, mobiles, computers, and a range of food items. I looked like a beggar in an old, torn dress. I used to be sponsored till I had my degree, but our agencies gave us no jobs. Out we couldn't go, and there were no jobs, vacancies within the camp. I wished I could have enough money to afford those things and to rest to address my needs.